Hi, guys. My name is Layla Lawson, and welcome to the Spiritual Muse podcast. This is my first episode. I'm very excited. Thank you guys all for clicking on this video. And today, I just wanted to share my testimony for my first video because honestly, God has told me to do this. He's told me to do this a couple of weeks ago, and I was really going back to my past is kind of hard for me because I've been through a lot. So I've been kind of like, I was gonna do it, obviously, because if God calls you to do something, you got to do it. So I was gonna do it, but I just been trying to put it off a little bit. But I got my mic. It came in the mail yesterday or 2 days ago, so I was like, well, I might as well just go ahead and do this video. um I got some points that I wrote down. Oh shoot, it's in my other journal. Hold on. Is it? Yes, it is. Hold on. Okay, guys, so I wrote down a whole bunch of points. Y'all probably can't even see that, but I wrote down a whole bunch of points just so that I don't get, off track or anything. But I want to do like a introduction kind of for my podcast. This podcast is going to be just my experiences and I would say what I've been through, because technically, yes, but it's not so much of that. It's more of what God got me through and how I got to where I am today, just in my heart, my mind, just how Jesus has changed me so much, and now I'm just not the same person that I used to be. For the better though, for the better, most definitely. Yeah, so I guess I can just start with talking about. Well, I can tell you about me first. My name is Layla Lawson. I am 20 years old. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I am a business owner, the Lux Lab LLC. That is my hair business. Podcast owner now, y'all. This is the first video. I'm so excited. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna start with like where I'm from. Um, so I am from Plainfield, New Jersey. I was born in New Jersey. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of nervous. Cause I don't think this is only my second time kind of sharing my testimony, but it's really my first time for real because I've never really started from beginning to end type. So, don't mind me if I'm just a little nervous, but um. This is like kind of uncomfortable to talk about, but I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for God, and I'm doing it for the people who need to hear this because a lot of people don't think that the things that they go through they think they're the only one. And I'm just here to let you know, baby, you're not the only one, okay? There has been things that I've seen and done and been through that, you know. Yeah. So, okay, so I'm just gonna start with, from the beginning, kind of, not really. But I was born in Plainfield, New Jersey. I have no siblings. My mom and dad were married before I was born. They got divorced when I was around 5. Um, and I would say that kind of did take a toll on me. I was young, so honestly, I knew what was going on, but it's like, you know, my parents just split up. Like, it's literally nothing I can do about that. So, my mom's side, I was around them, but not as much as my dad's side. My dad's side, very religious, churchgoers. Um, I was born, I mean, not born, I'm sorry. I was raised in church, like going to church, up until I moved to North Carolina, which is where I am currently. Um, I moved to North Carolina, me and my mom, when I was 8. And I used to go to church with my grandparents. Um, when I got here, me and my mom didn't really go to church like that. So I wasn't really like raised in church for real, for real. I kind of was, but not that I remember. So nothing really stuck. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing nothing. Okay, yeah, I did miss something. I'm not gonna lie. Back to Jersey, right? So me after my mom and my dad got divorced, I moved around a lot. When I tell you a lot, I've been to 11 schools, I think. And I've moved 9 times. So yeah, I've never been able to just stay in one spot ever, like ever. So, yeah, I've literally just been moving my whole life, which also kind of took a toll on me because, when making friends and losing friends, and making friends has never been hard for me, but it's more of like keeping them, because it's like when I move from state to state and, all this other stuff, it's just like, yeah. So, okay. So let's just start with my career choice. When I was, how like when you're younger, everybody's like, oh, what do you want to do when you get older? What do you want to do when you get older? I wanted to be a doctor. I just knew I wanted to help people. In my spirit, like I felt, I want to help people, right? So, um, that was a desire that God put on my heart. But being so young, I thought the only way I could help people was being a doctor. So that's what I stuck to for a long time. Um, that's not really what I wanted to do, but once I said it, it was just like everybody was kind of holding me to it. So I was like, okay, I have to be a doctor now. Like I have to be a doctor now. So I kind of just ran with that for a long, like years and years and years and years. I just kept saying I want to be a doctor. Um, so yeah. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. When I was in middle school, I never really felt like everybody else. Like I always felt like I was different from everybody else. And I would say that because like there will be people who, my generation is kind of fast. Like the kids that are my age are kind of fast. I'm not going to lie. But I was never like that. Like I was always like I never cursed. People used to try to give me $1 to curse. I promise you, like people used to try to pay me to curse. I'm just like I just don't understand the point of cursing. Like I just don't understand like why do we need to use that language. That's just how I grew up. Like I was very just like I was very outgoing, but I was also very to myself because I'm the only child. Like I don't have any siblings, so I wasn't raised with anybody else. So I was just really alone a lot. um um Yeah, so I guess I can just go. That's pretty much it with my childhood for real. Just being the only child and being alone a lot. I guess I'll start when I was 15 because that's really when. Well, I guess 14. 14. This is right after I moved back to North Carolina. So I literally moved here when I was 8, moved back to Jersey when I was 13, moved back here when I was 14. So when I moved back here, I reconnected with some of my friends that I had from 8th grade here because after 8th grade I moved back to Jersey and then I moved back here for my sophomore year because I did my freshman year in Jersey. So after I reconnected with those friends from 8th grade, we were just doing stuff like we were smoking, we were, just being fast. Well, I would say that they were faster than me, honestly, but their influence made me smoke. So that was my first time smoking when I was 14. I wanted to do it, obviously. I wasn't going to do something I didn't want to do, but just influence. That's the first time I smoked. Of course, I recorded it. So my mom, she went through my phone maybe like, I would say 3 months later. She went through my phone, found the video of us smoking. She got really mad, of course, because why wouldn't she? And she sent the video to my friend's parents. And like, why did she do that? She sent the video to my friend's parents, and then she ended up taking me out of that school, and I had to end up going to another school. And I was really upset about that because I'm just like, bro, you've just been moving me around my entire life. Like, when am I just going to be able to go to one school and stay there? I've been to 4 high schools, y'all. Like, I just been moving my entire life, I promise you. But yeah, so that was the first time I ever smoked. And then fast forward to I was 15. After that, some stuff happened in between there, but honestly, it's not relevant to my testimony. Technically, it is, but I just don't want to get into that. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe a story time one day, maybe not, but but yeah. So where was I? Okay, so fast forward to my first boyfriend. Technically, I had my first boyfriend in 6th grade, but oh, that's the funny part. You know what? I had my first boyfriend in 5th grade. I mean, 6th grade. That was my first kiss in 6th grade, and then that ended up being my my first boyfriend when I was 15. Technically, I wouldn't even call him a boyfriend in sixth grade because, like, it's sixth grade, but you know. Anyways, we ended up dating again, when I was 15, and I'm not gonna lie, I've just always been around fast people. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Hold on, my camera's about to die. 1 second, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. But where was I? Oh, basically, we had started dating when I was 15. That's when I lost my virginity. Um, Honestly, I've just really always been around people my age that were just doing things that we weren't supposed to be doing at that age, you know? So, just a lot of bad influence, a lot of, pressure to have sex, like lose my virginity at a young age. Basically, that was a lot of pressure to do. um Obviously, I was, well, at that time I wasn't forced to do it. I did it willingly, but it still was a lot of pressure to lose my virginity. I don't think I was ready yet. I'm just gonna say that I was not ready yet, but I just did it just to do it. But yeah, so after that he ended up cheating on me. But we were young, so I mean that's still not okay, but we were young. After that, that's when I got into a relationship. After we broke up, I got into a relationship like 2 months later with someone who abused me. And basically, he was 16, I was 15. We started talking first. We were friends. I'm not gonna lie, we were friends for a couple years before we started dating. And you would think that you know somebody, but nah, I didn't know that he was capable of doing that. I'm not gonna lie, but it's whatever. Um, yeah, I'm sorry. I just never really talked about this before. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, y'all, it's getting kind of dark. So I just hope the sun don't go all the way down before I'm done, because the sun is moving down pretty fast. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully, we still got a little light out here so I can tell my story. But yeah, um, so we were talking for a couple of months, and I think the first time I really saw him get angry was with his mom. And we were on FaceTime, and I remember when we were friends, he would always go on mute when his mom would open the door, or when his mom would call his name. And now I know why. It's because he used to call his mom the B word. He used to yell at her, like, and I, where I was at the time in my mind, I'm like, he would never do that to me. Be so for real. He treated his mama like that. Y- yeah. But I just wasn't knowing. I was very naive and gullible when I was younger, because I didn't have. Um, mm, I don't even know if I can blame it on. I wouldn't say I would blame it on my dad, but me and my dad never really had like a really close relationship, honestly. After my mom and him got divorced, he kind of, like, I don't know if it was schizophrenia. I don't know what mental disorder he was diagnosed with, but I just know he started having a lot of issues with his mental health. He would be talking to himself. My dad, I was scared of him when I was younger. I'm not gonna lie, because I was confused. I'm like, why is this dude talking to himself? Like, and you know what? One time he actually had me practicing Muslim at one point, because I remember he would roll out this green carpet, like this little rug, and we would both like kind of like bow down and like pray. But we would say, I'm gonna just say it, what he was saying. I'm gonna just say, Bismillah Rahman Rahim Allahu Akbar. I didn't know what that meant, and I remember it because we used to say it over and over and over. I honestly still don't know what it means. I just know that it's praying to Allah. I just know that it's praying to, like, Muslim. I honestly don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but I just know that that's not my God. So, yeah. Um, but yeah. So, um, oh, back to the relationship. So basically, It just got really, at first it wasn't physical abuse, it was more of mental and emotional. He would basically make me feel like I could never be alone. And I think that's when that issue started, because I genuinely had a fear of being alone. I don't even know what that's called. I'm gonna look it up. But I had a genuine fear of being alone. And I used to think it was because, I was the only child, but now I know it was because of him. Like, he wouldn't let me be alone. That's the thing. Like, I was kind of like forced to always be around him. He was my boyfriend at the time. So, of course, I wanted to be around him at the time. But it's just like the things, he was just very controlling. The things that he would like, the way he would talk to me and just tell me, basically belittle me, and I felt powerless. I felt just so lost and confused. I'm like, is this what love is? Like, love is calling your girlfriend a B word. Love is, like, when I tell you, y'all, it was bad. Um we started going to the same high school, and this was during COVID. Literally, when I tell you, everybody thought that this dude was the most, like, charming and nice, and I'm just like, y'all don't see this man behind closed doors. Y'all don't see how this man talks to me, how he talks to his mother. Y'all don't see any of this. So that definitely, I don't even think I realized how bad of a toll that was taking on my mind and my heart, like my mental health. It just wasn't good. But I didn't realize it at the time. So basically, um I'm not gonna lie, we would always have sex. And I'm talking every time we were together, and we were together almost every single day. So that really opened my eyes to, like, sexual immortality even more, because he was only the second person that I had sex with. Like I said, I lost my virginity in the relationship that I had before him. So yeah. But basically, I kind of became a sex addict and very hypersexual after that. I'm not gonna lie. And it was because it seemed like that's what we were supposed to be doing. Like, I wouldn't be able to just hang out with him. Like, we had to do that every time we were together. And yeah, I didn't know. I just, oh, Jesus. I'm just very grateful, honestly. Like, bro, God was there the whole time and I just didn't know. But yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to talk about this. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I don't know. I just never really talked about this before. And putting this on YouTube is crazy, but I got to do what I got to do. But yeah, what else? What else? Basically, I'm going to just tell y'all. Um so basically, he wouldn't let me have any male friends. Like, when I tell you, anyone who is a guy in my phone, including my cousins, including my uncles. Like, he would literally block all of them. He would remove all of them. He hacked well, not hacked. I think I gave him my Instagram passwords, and he logged me out. He logged me out of my Instagrams. He was like posting on my story, like, if y'all can get a hold of this, of Layla, just let me know or whatever. And people would literally be texting me and sending me screenshots of what this dude posted on my story. I'm just like, yo, you're crazy. Um, and I was genuinely trying to help him, because I used to tell him, all the time, you need help. Like, you genuinely need help. And his mom, like, we would both try to help him. And one time she even she said, has he ever put his hands on you? I said, no, he would never do that. And at that time, he has never touched me. Um, but the fact that she asked me that kind of put it into my mind, like, oh my goodness, is he capable of this, right? Because it's just like, if your mother is asking me, have you ever put your hands on me, like, that's how you know what your son is capable of. Like, and I don't know. So yeah, that really really put me in a place of no self-love. I did not love myself at all. Um because I was depending on his love. I was depending on his love, and you know, it made it to where I felt like I couldn't be without him because we were together so much, and because, um yeah, like we worked the same job and everything. Like, he made it to where I could never ever be apart from him. Like, when I tell, bro, we went to the same school, we worked the same job, we were always together every single day. And yeah, fast forward, that the whole relationship was just, it it was good like the first couple of weeks, and then he really showed his true colors, but I still stayed because I felt like I was pressured to, or I felt like I kind of owed it to him in a way. I don't really know how to explain that. That's the best I can explain it, honestly. I was just very lost. um but yeah, fast forward to the end of senior year. The end of senior year. Oh, I'm so sorry. The end of junior year. The end of junior year in high school. This is when the situation happened to where this was the last day of school. Junior year, last day of school, and we had broke up the day before. I tried to break up with him because I said, I absolutely cannot do this with you anymore. You're crazy. Like, when I tell you, if he couldn't get a hold of me, he made several, when I tell you several, seven, 7 to 9 Instagram accounts. And I remember because every time I would block one, he would make another one to get in contact with me. Um, and yeah, and at this point, I didn't tell anybody that he had put his hands on me. Um, I didn't tell anybody that. But then when the last day of school came, literally, y'all, it's getting so dark. I'm sorry. It's getting so dark. I might move to my car and turn the light on or something if it gets like crazy dark. But this is kind of like giving some light, so I hope this is okay. Um, but yeah, y'all. So basically, um, where was I? Oh, we broke up the day before the last day of school. The last day of school came around, and we were having like color wars and basically like field day for the last day, basically. And I remember we were sitting outside, and literally, um, wait, no, this was in the classroom first. I had broke up with him the day before, and he was mad, and he had kind of hit me in my face. And I remember, we had went outside after that, and I'm just like, yo, this dude is crazy, this dude is crazy. So I remember I had an Apple Watch on my arm, and I tried to call my mom, and he literally grabbed my wrist so hard that it made like a whole imprint of my watch on my wrist. So I remember after that, I remember his sister came to pick us up, or yeah, his sister came to pick him up. I can't remember who picked me up. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't remember, but I just know that I ended up at my best friend at the time, her house, and I told her what happened, and she was like, "No, like, we have to tell somebody." And I remember we were on the phone with my mom, and my mom freaked out, and she ended up calling the police. She called the ambulance. Well, I think she just called the police, and then the ambulance and the firefighters came too with the cops. So they pulled up to my best friend's house, and basically they were trying to like look at my face, look at my neck, look at my wrist, make sure I didn't have like no bruises or anything. Um, and this was very traumatic for me. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this whole relationship was just, I really lost myself like during this time, and after that I did not know who I was. Y'all, it is so dark. I really don't like this. I'm not gonna lie. I wish that there was some type of light. I really want to go in my car or something, but I'm gonna just try to like thug it out for now. But yeah, so basically after that, my er mm, after the police were called, I just remember that someone got sent to his house, because my mom wanted to get a restraining order, and we ended up going to court. Um, And at court, basically, I had to basically prepare a lot of things. I had a whole bunch of screenshots. Like, I remember there was one screenshot that said, "I would never hurt you till you bleed," which is insane. That is an insane statement. And I remember the judge saying something about that. She's like, "You're 16 years old. What business do you have telling your girlfriend, 'I would never hurt you till you bleed'? So what does that mean? You would hurt her otherwise?" Like, what? So yeah, and then I remember his mom was sitting next to him in court, and literally, I remember telling, like, I was crying, and I really couldn't get my words out, and I couldn't really speak, while I was in court, because I had the mic, like I was on the stand. Well, not really on the stand. We were like side by side, kind of. But it was my turn to speak, and I was basically telling the judge, I was like, his mom asked me, has he ever put his hands on me before? And his mom kind of tried to like act like she didn't tell me that, and I'm just like, you're lying, like you're actually lying. So yeah, that was just, yeah. Anyways, we ended up getting a 6 month restraining order from that, and yeah, I never talked to him again. Um, yeah, hold on, y'all. I'm gonna try to go in my car because the sun is literally gone now. So I'm gonna try to, I don't know, maybe I'll go in my room. I just really don't want to record this in my house. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna try to get some light and then I'll be back. Okay, guys, I'm in my room now. It got really dark outside. I'm sorry about that. But, where was I? Okay, y'all, so I'm not gonna lie. I actually did lose my train of thought. I'm not gonna lie. But I think I basically said everything I needed to say about that situation, that relationship. But after that, senior year started, and of course, people in the school. I think people in the school did know what happened. The teachers definitely knew. So I was kind of embarrassed, but I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, he doesn't go. He got expelled from school actually after that. So yeah, we didn't. I never saw him again. I never talked to. Oh, that's what I was saying. I was saying I never talked to him again after that. I've never seen him. I don't know what he's doing in life right now. But I do forgive him though. I really do, because honestly, not forgiving somebody is doing you more harm than that person, because it's like you're holding that grudge, you're holding that anger towards that person, and you're really hurting yourself, because like just staying angry at that person is really not doing anything but harm to yourself, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I guess, hmm okay, I know where to start off at. So let's just go back to kind of childhood a little bit. um Besides me always saying that I want to be a doctor, I genuinely did have a passion for doing hair. I'm not gonna lie. And I've always known how to do hair. Like, I'm self-taught. I've done knotless braids on myself. I think I started doing that when I was 16. um I think I started dyeing my hair and everything. Like, I did all that stuff myself. And then I used to do like my cousin's hair. When I was in high school, senior year, I used to do my homeboys on the basketball team. I used to do their retwists and everything. So I genuinely, like, I knew how to do hair. Like, it was just so easy for me. Um, but I never thought to be a hairstylist ever. Like, I thought, oh, you know what it is? People used to tell me that I wouldn't make no money off of doing hair. And you know who that was? The devil. Yeah, because God gave me that gift for a reason, and the devil didn't want me to know the power that I held in my talents and, just in my mind. So yeah, I after that whole thing happened, I didn't know myself. Like, I don't think I ever really knew myself to begin with, because you don't really know yourself until you know yourself in Christ, until you know the way that God created you to be, until you know the person that God created you to be, like your soul, if that makes sense. Anyways, um, so yeah, basically, I really just felt very alone, and I was terrified of being alone. Like, when I tell you, I would always try to hang out with someone. I would always be on the phone with someone. Like, I was like kind of scared of my own company. I don't know why. Like, I really don't know why that was. And I can't even really blame it on being only child all the way. I think it was really that relationship that really like triggered a lot of things, and I just shouldn't have been exposed to a lot of things that I've been exposed to in my life, honestly. But um okay, so let's fast forward to the end of senior year. The end of senior year. I was 17. I graduated when I was 17 because my birthday is September 29th. So, you know, yeah. I'm usually the youngest in my class because of that. My birthday's kind of late. Um, so, yeah, I graduated. I started applying to colleges before I graduated, of course. I got into North Carolina Central University, and I did a summer program there. I went there for 5 weeks during the summer to get credits for what is it called? I got a 4.0. That's what it was. So that we can start off with a 4.0 in the beginning of the fall year. I hope that made sense. I don't know how I just said that, but basically, I did a summer program for 5 weeks, took some classes during the 5 weeks, stayed on campus the whole 5 weeks, literally moved in before everybody else. Like, it was me and my program, the whole program. It was called AEA program, Aspiring Eagles Academy. I think that's what it stands for. But yeah, so basically, I lived on campus for those 5 weeks, took classes, got a 4.0 to start off the school year with. And I had a boyfriend at the time. Definitely had a boyfriend at the time. Me and this dude started dating before I graduated. Yeah, before I graduated. So, um, yeah. So basically, fast forward to when everybody moved on campus, because like I said, me and my program moved in before everybody else, and um, we were gonna leave all our stuff. We left all of our stuff on campus, and after the 5 weeks, we went back home for like 2 weeks before the school year started. Um, so we left all of our stuff on campus. Um, Basically, when everybody got on campus, the whole school got on campus. That's when I started smoking weed for real. Like I said, I smoked weed for the first time when I was 14. I honestly don't think I tried it again. I really don't think I tried it again until I went to college, honestly. Um, so yeah, I smoked. Um, One of my homeboys that was in college, he taught me how to roll up. And then that's when I think I got addicted to weed. Well, I don't think, I know I did. I got addicted to weed. Definitely, I definitely did. And I was idolizing it. I was putting it over God. Mind you, I never really went to church for real. So I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to be so honest. I've never really had a relationship with God. A relationship is continuing to talk to him, continuing to trust him with your life and the plan that he has for you. I didn't know about none of that. Like, I knew God was real. I did question it at one point if God was real. Because I think my best friend at the time was questioning if he was real. So she made me kind of question if he was real. Um, and yeah, I just never really saw him move in my life, or so I thought, because I was just so deep into my sin that I was very much in the dark. I didn't see the light. I didn't see much of any light. Especially after that relationship. That relationship, I never saw any light. When I tell you that relationship was so dark, um, yeah, I was just very depressed. So I would say after I got into college, like I said, I got addicted to weed. After I learned how to roll up, oh, it was over from there. I was smoking every day. I was also going to the gym though, so I would go to class. I would smoke at any minor inconvenience. I felt a little sad, I smoked. I felt a little depressed, I smoked. I felt a little anxious, I smoked. So I was always smoking. Y'all, I'm really trying not to make this video this long, but it's a testimony, okay? It's a testimony. But yeah, so fast forward to September, my birthday, I turned 18. That day I smoked 3 blunts. I'm not even gonna lie. I smoked 3 blunts at once. Like I was, ooh. I remember that. That was crazy. But yeah. So I was just depending on it. I was depending on weed. I was depending on it. And I think that's really when my mental illnesses that I got diagnosed with started to kick in. October came around, I got really depressed. I told my mom I got really depressed because I was on the verge. Well, not really on the verge at this point. I was just thinking about suicide. I didn't attempt anything. But I was just thinking about it a lot. And I was really sad. Like, I was smoking all the time, because I felt something missing in my heart. I felt something missing in my soul. And essentially, that is Jesus. Jesus was missing, but I didn't know that at the time. So I just felt something missing, and I thought that drinking and smoking would help. Honestly, I was never a drinker for real. Um, well, at this time, I was never a drinker for real. Like, I would do it from time to time with my friends in our dorms, but I never liked the way it tasted. I think I liked being drunk, but I didn't really do it that often in college. Um, so fast forward to October, that's when it got really bad. I started getting a bunch of piercings. I started getting a bunch of tattoos. Um, I dyed my hair a lot. I've had a lot of colors of hair. Um, and yeah, fast forward to November, it got really bad. This is when it got the lowest, one of the lowest points in my life. Um, this was definitely probably the lowest when I was in college, because I just felt like I didn't want to be there. I had my car at the time. I was driving home because North Carolina Central University is in Denver, North Carolina. I live in North Carolina. Oh, Charlotte. Well, I don't live in Charlotte anymore, but that's where I was living at the time. So it was a 2 hour drive. I would drive home almost every weekend. I thought it was because I missed my boyfriend. I probably did. I probably did miss him, but um, I thought that that was why I was so sad, because I missed him. I thought that that was why, but it was deeper than that. It was deeper than that, and I didn't know it at the time. So basically, um, mm, okay, I started seeing a therapist. My mom helped me get a therapist. I started talking to her. That didn't help. She prescribed me with Lexapro. If you don't know what that is, it's an antidepressant. She diagnosed me with antidepressant. I'm sorry. She diagnosed me with major depressive disorder, major anxiety disorder. She was on the verge of diagnosing me with bipolar disorder. And then I started doing my own research, because I'm like, yo, this feeling that I'm feeling, this is not normal. I don't know what this is. So I started doing my own research. And I was reading the symptoms of BPD, borderline personality disorder, and I had all. When I tell you symptom after symptom, when I tell you I had all of these things, so I brought it to her. I said, I think I have this, and she's like, you don't, and I'm like, I promise you I do. That's where I went wrong. I'm telling myself I have this mental disorder, so I started developing it, and then it just kept getting worse from there, because it's not like I wanted it, but I just wanted to figure out what this was so bad that I was trying to come up with things, and, essentially giving myself these disorders, because your belief system is very important. What you believe, your reality alters around your beliefs. So the things that you see, that that is based around what you believe. So I really believed I had these things, so I started developing these things, and I didn't know that at the time. I just thought that I had it because I did have it, because I gave it to myself. But my therapist said I didn't have it, because whenever whenever I would have meetings with her, I wouldn't really tell her everything. I didn't really talk to her, honestly. I really didn't talk to her much. So yeah. And then January comes around, and this is when it got to the point of my suicide attempt. So uh January. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm skipping. November, when I started doing therapy at like the end of November, I thought that getting a an emotional support animal was gonna help. So I ended up getting a Yorkie, baby Yorkie, Nico. Oh, I miss Nico. He was so bad, but I miss him. Yeah, I didn't end up taking him on campus though. I did end up leaving him at home. But yeah, I had my therapist write me a letter and everything so that I can take him back to school. Which I did get approved for it, but I just didn't end up taking him back to school for some reason. But yeah, uh, this is around the time I started having the thoughts of I really don't want to be in this school. Like I was failing my classes. I changed my major. And you know what? My major was biomedical science because I was planning to be an anesthesiologist at the time. Like I switched between doctors, but it's always been doctor. I went from pediatrician, I went to surgeon, it was just a whole bunch of doctor stuff. So I was in school to be an anesthesiologist at the time. And yeah, I thought that's what I wanted to do until, I realized I actually suck at math. I've never been really good at math. I'm not gonna lie. Math has always been challenging for me. But I've always loved science and biology. So I started with biomedical science and then I switched it to psychology. I switched it to chemistry. I switched it a lot, but I know chemistry is what I ended up with at the end. Which as a freshman, you don't need to change your major. You're taking basic classes. You don't need to change your major. I didn't know that though. I was just, I just didn't want to be there, and I was trying to find the reason behind what I was feeling. Like maybe I need to change my major, maybe I need to, But I was still heavily smoking. I was still depending on weed. I wasn't talking to God at all. When I tell you I was so far from Him, that's why all these things were happening to me, and also my trauma as well. But the devil used my trauma against me because I didn't lean on God, because I was depending on a substance more than I was depending on my Father in heaven. So the devil really used that against me. And it's like he just took it and ran with it. And I almost took my life because of it. Um, so after I told my mom I wanted to drop out, she was like, okay, maybe you need to just transfer back home. So the plan was for me to just transfer to like UNCC or, community college or something. But then I went back home because I go to Jersey for Christmas in the summer sometimes. But this year I had went to Jersey for Christmas, and I was talking to my aunt. I said, I really don't think I want to be in school. She was like, we were trying to figure out what I was going to do. And she was like, you're really good at hair. Like, you should go to cosmetology school. And I was like, okay, like, that's a good idea. Like, I really do actually like doing hair. Like, I would love to do that. And that's when I started, like, discovering, that what God gave me, um, I'm supposed to be using that, right? But I didn't know it at the time. Hold on, y'all. My camera finna die again. Okay, y'all, sorry about that. My camera was about to die again. But hold on. Okay, so where was I? Oh, okay, so I was telling my mom that I want to do cosmetology instead. And she was like, "Oh, no, you're not going to do cosmetology. You're just going to stay in school and just finish out this year, and then we can see what you're going to do after that." And I just remember crying because I'm just like, how is she gonna tell me that I can't do cosmetology when that's something that I actually want to do? Which I don't blame her because it's just like she was confused, I was confused, I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew at the time that's what I wanted. But it's just like I couldn't really make up my mind, so I understand. But basically, January comes around. And she's like, okay, the plan was for me to just finish out the rest of the year and then transfer home or go to cosmetology school. So January comes around, which is spring semester, right after Christmas break, right after I got back from Jersey. And I just remember I was like, okay, cool. Like, I got locks. I got my first set of locks. Um, and they were blue and they were regular size locks. Cause I have micro locks right now. I had regular locks. I got this done at the very beginning of December. So fast forward to January, I remember going into my spring semester like, okay, we're just gonna knock out the rest of this year and then I can go to cosmetology school. So all I remember is I was doing really good in school. Like I was trying not to fail this time. Like I was actually trying not to fail. And then I remember 2 weeks into the spring semester, my mom and my stepdad, they were going to Puerto Rico for my mom's birthday. So they were going to be gone for a week. Mind you, I told you I got my dog Nico. So I had to stay home with him. So I drove home 2 hours to stay home with my dog for 1 week. One whole week by myself. Mind you, I already didn't like being alone. Because and I think the reason why I didn't like being alone is because I was scared of my own thoughts. The devil was in my head and I didn't know it was the devil. It sounded like my own voice. That's the thing. Like the devil will really be making you think that it's you, and I promise you, baby, it's not you. It's not you. But yeah, so basically I'm thinking all these bad things about myself, and I did not love myself. I really didn't. And I don't think I was ever taught how to love myself. No one's ever told me the importance of loving myself. Like, I just didn't have that type of like guidance. So, basically, oh, during this week, and I kid you not, this was the first time that I can recall feeling God's presence, because he knew what was finna happen that week. He knew what I was finna try to do that week. Um, so I remember just getting the urge to open my Bible. Mind you, I'm spending a whole week at home, me and my dog. That's it. Literally a whole week at home. Um, I was still smoking, of course, and I just get this sudden urge to read my Bible because I used to have questions like, and the thing is, the fact that I would say grew up in church, because I didn't really grow up in church. I was just in church. I wasn't paying attention, so I wouldn't really say I grew up in church, but um, yeah, I kind of had my questions. Like, I had my questions, like, how did I get here? Like, how did this world become what it is? Like, did we just poof vanish here? Like, I had my questions. So I said, okay, let me go read the Bible. Started in Genesis, right? Mind you. And let me show you. I asked my grandparents for this Bible. I asked them for this Bible, and literally December 25th, 2022. Like, my grandparents got me this Bible for Christmas. So this is the Bible that I started reading um when I came home for that week. And I remember I started in Genesis. I just wanted to see if I highlighted anything, that's all. But I remember I started in Genesis because I'm just like, okay, let me just open this up and see what this is about. And I just remember, oh, I do have some stuff highlighted. I don't use this Bible anymore. I use my smaller one. But I literally highlighted, let us make human beings in our image to be like us. So God created human beings in his own image. Like, I literally highlighted that because I did have my questions, and that literally answered a lot of my questions that I had. I was so shocked. I said, this is how I got here. Like, when I tell you, it's like, I felt like I knew some of this stuff already, because like I said, I was going to church and I was in Sunday school when I was younger, but it's like, you don't stay consistent, it's not really going to stick much, for one. And for two, living in the sin that I was living in, it clouded my mind so much, it blinded me so much, that anything that I did know about God, gone. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't talk to him. The devil was literally controlling me at that point. Um, so yeah, basically, I just felt like this overwhelming peace. Like, I just felt so happy, and I didn't know it was God's presence. I didn't know it was God's presence. But I just remember feeling so happy. And I'm like, I'm just so happy. I was making TikToks, like I was making videos with my dog. And then I think the devil realized that I was like, that God was pulling me towards him. And I don't think he liked that. So what happened was, I stopped taking my medicine, which you're not supposed to stop taking. I had antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine. You're not supposed to stop taking your medicine cold turkey. You're not supposed to stop taking your medicine cold turkey. Um, so basically, um, I stopped taking my medicine. You're supposed to get like weaned off of it. They're supposed to give you like less and less and less until there's nothing, like prescription wise. But I stopped taking it myself, and that kind of drove me a little crazy. And I wouldn't say crazy, but I would just say the devil was loud. If I thought he was loud before, he was very loud. Um, so yeah, literally. Oh, did I tell y'all I ghosted my therapist? I definitely ghosted my therapist. I don't know if I told y'all this, but yeah, I did. Um, but yeah, so fast forward to maybe like the very end of the week. This was like the day before my mom and stepdad were supposed to come back. Yes, the day before they were supposed to come back. I cut all my hair off. I literally woke up one day. I said, I'm about to cut all my hair off. But all the hair stores were closed. And that was really God trying to protect me that day from not cutting all my hair off, because I was trying to do everything I could to find some shears. I definitely had regular scissors, but I knew that I was supposed to use shears for my hair. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get some shears. All the hair stores were closed. I was driving around. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna use these kitchen scissors. So I cut off all of my locks. When I tell you, I had maybe 1 inch, no, not even a full inch of hair, y'all. When I tell you my hair was like this, bruh, I had no hair. Oh, I, wait. I'm trying to figure out the order, but I think I cut my hair first. I can't remember what I did first, but I just remember I cut all of my hair off, and I ended up cutting myself. That was my first time ever cutting myself on like my upper, like right here. I remember I was sitting just like this, or I think I was sitting crisscross applesauce, and I was just drawing lines with this razor that I got from Michaels, and not for that. Obviously, I bought it for when I made my cap for senior, or yeah, for my graduation. Anyways, I just was drawing lines on myself, and that was my first time ever doing that. And I don't know why I did it. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I just knew that I was in pain and I wanted to feel pain. I really don't know what I was thinking. I'm not gonna lie. I really am not sure. But I just remember it was like maybe this much worth of cuts on my leg. And when my boyfriend at the time saw it, I can't even remember how he reacted, but I know I put that man through a lot. And I feel so sorry. If you're watching this, I'm so sorry I put you through all of that. Like, seriously, I was very lost, and you didn't deserve none of that I put you through, seriously. But I really want to thank you for being there for me at the time. I'm not gonna lie. We don't talk anymore, but yeah. So yeah. I broke up with him. I broke up with him around this time. Um I think I broke up with him before, like, it's the same week, but I think I broke up with him like in the beginning of the week. And then I think I ended up cheating on him. Y'all, when I tell you, I was lost. Like, I just was lost. I was just doing a lot, and it just wasn't me. It really wasn't me. I didn't know myself. I didn't love myself. So I was just treating people the way I saw myself, just was just doing stuff, and yeah. But yeah. So, I think, and I'm not gonna lie, this relationship was really healing for me at the beginning. But then when I started smoking and everything and depending on it, and then started taking medicine and all this other stuff, like, that's when, you know, I really started putting my boyfriend at the time through a lot. And I can tell I was, but I wouldn't say I didn't care, but I just had a lot going on. I just had a lot going on. So, yeah. Oh, ha, ha. Uh, Thank you, Holy Spirit, bringing stuff back to my remembrance. So, I'm sorry, y'all. This is just a lot. Um, Literally, I think the day before I cut all my hair off is when I cut myself, and I was going to just take all my medicine that was prescribed to me that I stopped taking. I still had both of the bottles, and I was just going to take them and just, yeah. So I called him, and I was basically telling him, like, I just can't do this anymore. I remember calling him, and he only lived like 7 minutes away from me at the time. So he was like racing to my house, and he ended up coming to my house, and I just remember him taking. I just remember the pills were everywhere, and I just remember him taking them from me, and yeah. So all of that happened, and the next day I cut all my hair off, like I said, and after that he called his mom. His mom called my mom, which is still in Puerto Rico or on the way back from Puerto Rico. I think they had landed in Florida and then was coming. So they had two flights. I think they were in Miami at the time when, everything was happening. And my mom called my best friend at the time, well, my godmom, and my goddad, and my little god sister. They were there. They came to get me because my mom was obviously in another state. So she told them what was happening. They were like, "Oh, can you go get Layla?" And my mom called my therapist. My therapist was trying to get in touch with me. I wasn't really answering her calls, but I just remember that um, literally they picked me up to take me to a mental hospital. And God knew I wasn't supposed to be there. So literally when we pulled up, like online it said it was open. When we pulled up they were closed, thank God, because the way that they probably would have pumped me full of more meds, and I probably would have actually lost it at that point. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Uh After that, my mom got in touch with my administrators at Central, told them that there's no way that I can, no longer be there. She had my therapist write a letter telling them that mentally I was not stable enough to be in school anymore. So I just remember I didn't tell my friends anything. My friends in school, I didn't tell them anything. I just remember I this was a couple weeks later. Literally, went we drove to Central and picked up all of my stuff. When I tell you all of my stuff, we packed up all of my stuff and I was just gone. Everybody, my roommate, my friends across from me, everybody on my hall, it's just like, "You're leaving?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm leaving. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really tell them much. So if y'all are watching this, yeah, y'all know what happened now. But yeah, so, and y'all, this isn't even it. Let me just tell you. So fast forward to like the end of February. I took a tour at Aveda Arts and Sciences Institutes, which is a cosmetology school, the cosmetology school that I graduated from, period. Thank you, God. And yeah, so I took a tour, and literally during the tour, just being around everybody doing hair, like hearing the blow dryers, like just watching everybody just working and doing hair, literally my heart jumped out of my chest. I said, I have to go to this school. Like, I have to go here. So basically, the administrator that was giving us the tour, after we finished the whole tour, we sat back down in the room, and she was telling me about this scholarship. She was like, "Yeah, there's a scholarship called Catwalk for Water. Basically, all you have to do is write an essay, sharing why you should be accepted for this award. You have to make a gown out of recycled materials, do makeup and hair." So I did all of that on my mom. She was my model. Um, After work I was working at a daycare at this time. After work every day, I'll be working on this. I'll be working on this project. I made a top, I made a skirt, and I'm gonna see if I can put like a picture so I can show y'all. But yeah, my mom was trying to help me collect the materials because I knew what I wanted to use. I used paper clips. I use not paper clips. I'm sorry, safety pins. I use magazine papers, broken CDs, fake money. Like I used all of that stuff for the gown and the top, and this was like stuff clothes that she already had, so I was just using that. Because technically that is recycled. So yeah, and basically I ended up winning the scholarship, a full ride to Aveda Arts and Sciences Institutes. And yeah, so I ended up going to cosmetology school for free. My kit paid for, my whole tuition paid for, and honestly, I was so shocked. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I knew I had did a good job because I really put my all into it. I said I'm gonna win this scholarship because my mom probably already paid a lot of money for just this 1 year of school that I didn't even finish. Like, it's just been so much going on. I need this. So I ended up winning the scholarship. Thank you, God. That was really God. And I honestly, I don't even think I knew it at that time either. I was just so far gone from Him. Um, but yeah, so I started working at Hooters in March, the very end of March. I started working at Hooters, and I started cosmetology school like a couple of weeks after that. And yeah, and then from there, started going to school every day. Now, for cosmetology school, you do have to have 1,500 hours. This was 3 days a week, 10 hours a day. The first 20 week is 50 week program. The first 20 weeks, you're upstairs in the classroom doing theory, bookwork, all that stuff. Then the last 30 weeks, you're downstairs on the clinic floor doing hair. So during the first 20 weeks, I was still battling with depression and anxiety and all these things, and still smoking literally. So, oh, I started vaping too. Literally, I bought a vape for the first time in February. And I just remember I was vaping all the way up until like July. And then I said I have to stop. I have to stop vaping because I was getting really bad headaches and stomach aches. So I said, yeah, I have to stop vaping. So I stopped vaping. Um, at Hooters is where I met my best friend, and um, we used to do some crazy stuff. Cause I'm not gonna lie, at this time, after I started school and everything, I was still very much in the world. I haven't been saved yet, y'all. I'm still not saved yet. So this is I didn't get saved until this year, like 2024. So I didn't even tell y'all this. When I won the scholarship, this was 2023. Yeah, 2023. So yeah, basically, um yeah, I met my best friend at Hooters, and honestly, this is my God sent friend, and I didn't know it at the time, but now we know we talk about this stuff all the time, and we're literally on this journey together now, which is amazing. But yes, I was still very much lost. When I tell you I had the Jezebel spirit, bad. Jezebel spirit, bad. I was very manipulative. I was very lustful. But like I said, I did become a sex addict. I'm not gonna lie. I did become a sex addict because of what I was put through, because of what I've been through. Yeah, so, yeah. But basically, y'all, that summer was just crazy. This is so embarrassing, and I have never told anybody this, but I'm delivered. My body is healed. I'm fine now. So, we can talk about these things because these are real things that people go through that, me sharing my story is going to help a lot of people. So, I'm just going to say everything that I need to say, and we're just going to say this now. This has always been a judgment-free zone, okay? I'm just going to say that before what comes out of my mouth because this is embarrassing and I've never told anybody this. But, for the sake of the video, I'm going to just, let it all out. And I really don't have nothing to hide. Like, I'm not that person anymore. So it really doesn't even matter. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. But yeah. So I'm just going to say this now. I caught 2 STDs That is so embarrassing. I caught two STDs from this guy. Oh, that is so nasty. I'm sorry, y'all. And the thing is, I'm celibate now. I've been celibate for 6 months now, so just I don't even like thinking about that stuff. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I had caught two STDs at the time, and I was just being, I don't want to say that word, just very lustful and very Jezebelish, very Jezebelish. And yeah, I that the Jezebel spirit had took over me at that point, and I was just very emotional, very obsessive, very, anybody who I let get a little like emotional piece of me, or they let me get emotional piece of me. Like, anybody I was talking to or dating at this point, I got like obsessed with or attached to, because like I said, I've always had a problem with being alone. So it's like I would always try to be with this person, even if they were busy. I would always try to find a way to be with this person, or like whoever it was at the time that I was talking to during the summer. I was talking to a couple people during the summer, but I just always wanted to be with somebody. Um, and I really blame that one relationship I was in, because before that, I don't think I ever really had a problem with being alone for real. Now that I think about it, like, because I've been alone my whole life, like, I'm the only child, so yeah, but that's just very unfortunate. But yeah, so basically, fast forward to, so I met my best friend. We started drinking. She was a smoker too, and she was drinking too. Like, we were both in the world when we met. We got out the world together, which, thank you God. But yeah, we were both very much in the world together. So around the time that we met, from the time that we met to literally the beginning of this year, we were drinking and we were smoking every day. We were smoking all the time. When I tell you, I like I would never not have weed. I would always roll up. I would be smoking on the way to work. I would be smoke with my windows down. I would be smoking like on the way to school. I would have my dab pen in school. Like, I would be high. Like, man, it was just really bad. Like, I really did have a problem. I'm not gonna lie, I really did have a problem. But I'm delivered now, so it's okay. But yeah, so we were just drinking a lot. We were drinking every weekend and just being very much in the world. So fast forward, to December. Mind you, I started school in April. Fast forward to December. Between this whole time, I had caught a couple STDs. I was being obsessive over these boys. I had the Jezebel spirit. I was being very unholy, not pure at all. I was very lost and just being misguided and doing drugs, not hard drugs, just weed, but like weed, edibles, drinking, like all this stuff between April and December. December comes around, everybody's making their New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution was to get close with God. 2023, I said I'm going to get close with God, because this is around the time I'm getting ready to graduate this upcoming April, right? So I'm like, okay, I know I want to get my own spot. I know, and people were doubting me. Like, all these, like, not all of my teachers, but a few teachers were telling me, they would literally be like, "Oh, you should start off in a salon first," which is understandable. I understand why you say that, because I don't have any clients yet, and that is very much understandable. But it's just like, if I'm telling you I got this, if I'm telling you all I need to do is keep posting content, like, I know what to do to get clients. It was really giving monitoring spirits. It was really giving just, yeah. But that I wasn't even looking for sweets until like February of 2024. So back to December. I was saying I need to get close with God this year. I need to build my relationship with God this year because I never had one. So and now after everything that I've been through, now I know that I need him. So I'm gonna get close with him this year. But January came around, I was still drinking, still smoking, because all of my freaking friends' birthdays in January, so we just kept getting drunk every weekend, I swear. But anyways, February comes around. This is when I started going to church. Trying to go consistently. I brought a home, me and my homegirl would go every Sunday, and then she brought along another friend that I met through her, and then all three of us started going to church together. February is when I really started reading my Bible because, like I said, in 2023, I'm sorry, yeah, 2023, when I had opened my Bible and like read a little bit of Genesis for the first time, that was that wasn't really when I started reading the Bible. I literally just read Genesis and then everything happened after that. So I didn't really touch my Bible again after that. But February is when I really started reading my Bible. This Bible right here. I said, okay, I started praying, I started going to church, and I'm just finding out the truth. I'm finding out the truth. And February is when I had my first spiritual awakening. And that's when I started getting more peace and just more fulfillment, because essentially I was trying to fill the void with all of these things, with these boys, with with these drugs, with the drinking, like all of these things. I was trying to fill the void, but nothing can fill it like Jesus can. Nothing. When I tell you the enemy is a liar, he's going to try to get you to do all these things to try to fill that void that you know is missing, and it's Jesus, I promise you. But I didn't know that before, but I'm finding it out now, and I'm just like, okay, me and my bestie that I met at Hooters, literally, we went on a fast that whole month, no smoking or drinking, and we did so good. We did 28 days because obviously it's only 28 days in February. So we did 28 days, no drinking, no smoking, and honestly, that felt really good. It felt really good. So yeah. And then March, I had another spiritual awakening because Um, I did shrooms, and I did shrooms with somebody who I had did shrooms with this boy I was talking to, and he really just opened my mind a lot to a lot of things. Like I was already finding God, but it's like he kind of triggered my spiritual awakening, and it really just helped me understand a lot. And after that, my relationship with God grew stronger. Um, but then me and him fell into sexual sin, and so we stopped talking. I think God removed him. God definitely removed him from my life for a reason. We weren't ready for a relationship. It was a lot of things I was dealing with still, things that he needed to work on. So God just separated us. But I think we just had to meet for that reason. But yeah, so literally just ever since then, literally I just started growing more spiritually. I got saved in February. I would say January, but I wasn't being consistent because of my friend's birthday was that month. So I just kept drinking back to back every week. Um, but yeah, after when I went sober that month in February and I actually got saved, I got baptized when I was 14, but I haven't gotten baptized again. My grandpa said it was no point because I'm already baptized. I kind of wanted to do it again just because, like, I'm actually saved this time. Like, the first time I got saved, I didn't really understand it. So I thought maybe I should get baptized again, to really, like, show that I understand now, really wash myself clean again. But I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I'm going to, because my grandpa said I don't really need to get baptized again. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, but literally ever since then, like, I just started loving myself more and more. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely still had the Jezebel spirit when I was talking to this boy. Um, when we had took the shrooms and everything, I was being very possessive over him. I was being just, he did ghost me though, cause he was going through some stuff. So he had ghosted me for like 2 days, and I blew his phone up, and I was just acting crazy, Jezebel, of course. Um, but yeah, so after we completely stopped talking, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna work on myself. That's when I started like really changing. I didn't curse no more. I really didn't do the things that I used to do anymore. I started discovering how bad secular music is for you spiritually. I started discovering that everything is spiritual, because I didn't know that. Everything is spiritual, and the spiritual realm is very real. And everything that happens in the spiritual realm, I mean, in this world, in the physical world, happens in the spiritual realm first. Like, just things like that, like frequencies, vibrations, energy, auras, like all this stuff I'm starting to learn about from March, when I had my spiritual awakening with him, to July. I'm really finding myself. I'm really growing with God. I'm really getting strong in my relationship with him. That's when God started taking my friends out. He started taking some friends out, because I started praying those removal prayers. I started telling God, I'm like, I know that you have a plan for my life, and now I only want to do that. So I promise you, anything that is interfering with my relationship with you, anybody who doesn't point me in the direction that is pure and faithful to you, then just take them out of my life. So he started removing them slowly, or just putting like a distance between us, and then I just got distant from some people. It just happens. Yeah. um oh, July, I got my purity ring. So I am 6 months pure this month. Actually, it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago was my purity, my 6 months, what is it called? My 6 month pure. Period. But yeah, y'all, I'm waiting till marriage. I don't even think about, I'm not gonna lie. If the devil tries to put like lust or like sex in my head, I really get mad. I'm not, well, not mad, but like, I just get irritated, because I'm just like, bro, I really don't want to think about that. But I really don't think about it for real. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Considering the fact that I used to be an addict, yeah, I want nothing to do with that anymore. And it's just crazy, because where I am right now, just in my mind, in my spirituality, I have never felt the peace that I feel today before I had Jesus. And it's the thing that I've been chasing, I would say, all of my life, but I can't really remember much from middle school and elementary school. So I would really just say, like, from high school to this year, I've been chasing this feeling of peace, and of like actual love, and of actual joy in everything that God is. And when I got saved, I started feeling it. And then when I started getting to know myself, when I started, oh, that's the thing. I asked God, I asked him to show me who I am in your eyes. I asked him to reveal who I truly am to myself. And that's when I just started learning more and more and more about myself, more about God. Because it's like, the more you learn about God, the more that you read your word, because that's where you're going to learn about him, in your word. You're going to learn about him, and essentially learn about yourself, because it's like, we are created in his image. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not, because I'm far from it. I am well, I don't sin anymore, I would say, but I would say that I am a sinner. Obviously, we were all born into sin. But yeah, so Jesus is the ideal, like what we should strive to be like. We should be kind as possible, as patient as possible, as self controlled as possible. I started learning about how my flesh and my spirit are against each other. I started learning, like, I was reading Ephesians, Proverbs, James, Romans. Like, I just started reading my Bible. I was really in my Bible. Um, and just learning more about him and just getting closer to him, and trying to figure out what my purpose is, and now I know this is my purpose, spreading the gospel, sharing his love, and obviously doing care as well, because that is a gift that he gave me to use. But it's just like all of this time I've been putting myself through these things in these relationships, and and trying to find everything but Jesus to fill the the only spot that Jesus like can fill, like, and it's just like now I know the truth about how this life actually is supposed to be, and now my frequency is way higher than it used to be because I was very low vibrational. I didn't believe that I could do anything. But in reality, it's like you create your own reality. So the things that you believe about yourself, the things that you believe about this world is how it's going to be for you, because it's your perspective. You change your perspective, you change your life. Like, literally, the things that you think lead up to how your life is going to look. And that's also with like manifesting and stuff. Like, you have to really believe that you can do whatever you want, because you can. You're human, I'm human. These celebrities that people be praising and worshiping, they're human as well. So it's just like you can really do whatever it is that you want in this life. And you know God has just really been showing me that, and teaching me that, and now I'm here to share it with you guys, and just to let you know that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and especially with God. That is scripture. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. Like, reading your Bible is so important, and honestly, I'm just so grateful because there's a reason why I went through all the things that I went through. And honestly, I try not to have any regrets. I try, because it made me who I am today. So essentially, it's just like I try not to look at the past too much as a bad thing. Of course, I went through bad things. I went through a lot of things that, I haven't told anybody. But it's just like, essentially, those things unfortunately happened. But look where I am today. Like, it all led up to a greater purpose than just me and myself. So yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. This was a really long video, a very long video. I just pray that anybody who's going through anything that similar to anything that I've said, I just want you to know that Jesus is right by your side, because he was watching me the entire time, my whole life. God knew your name before you were even put here on this earth. He created this earth. He created you. He created a plan for you. And the devil is always going to be your biggest hater. He's always going to be against you. So that little voice in your head that's telling you that you're not enough, that's not you, baby. That's not you. That's the devil. And I need you to rebuke him in the name of Jesus. I'm so serious. Rebuke him in the name of Jesus and plead the blood of Jesus over your life. And I'm going to put the salvation prayer in the description. So if anybody who's not saved can read that, confess with your tongue that Jesus Christ is Lord and that he's the savior of this world, and so that you can be saved and start a relationship with him. But yeah, I'm sorry that this video was so long, y'all. I tried not to make it this long, but there were things that needed to be said, and I, man, I'm just very grateful to be where I am today. I never would have thought, like, I'm not gonna lie, where I am today is the most peace that I've ever felt in my entire life. And you're not gonna get it anywhere else. You're not gonna get it anywhere else. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. Okay? When I tell you I am light now, I am the brightest light, okay? I I I was in the dark for so long and I didn't even recognize that it was darkness. Like everything around me was so dark, the way I saw things, and I just thought, is this what life is? Like there has to be more to life than this. Like these are things that I was telling myself, there has to be more to life than this. And it is. There is so much more to life. There is so much more to life. And I just want to let you know that Jesus is the one, okay? He is the one, not the two or the three or the four or the five. He is the one, period. And yeah, I pray that you guys really enjoyed this testimony. I pray that I helped you. I pray that, you're able to take this video and really resonate with it and really like feel it in your soul, Yeah. But yes, you guys, I am very excited to start this podcast. And, I just thought this would be a very good first video to do. But yeah, I think that's it. If you guys want to like let me know what you guys want me to talk about in my videos, like everything spiritual, everything Jesus, let me know in the comments down below. And also, like, if you have been through anything similar to me and you also found Jesus, let me know in the comments. Like, I really want to know. Like, I want to know y'all stories. I want to know, like, if you don't feel like putting all that, you don't have to put too much. Just let me know, like, you've been where I was and now you're out of that. I know that there are a lot of people who think that they're the only one. You're not the only one, okay? I promise, and I'm here to tell you that. You see my face, I'm still here. I have beautiful hair now, my hair grew back. But yeah, um, thank you guys so much for watching my video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below just what you guys want to see me talk about, because this is my first episode for my podcast and I'm very open to topics and like self-love, like confidence, anything that you want me to talk about. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Spiritual Muse podcast.